Jai Mata Di. We are going to commence this evening's puja. Sprinkle water on yourself and all the puja items. Om pavitraha pavitro va sarvavastam gatopi va yah smare pundarikaksham savahyaphyantraha shuchihi. Now, sip water in the palm of your right hand 3 times, doing Hari Smaran, thinking of Bhagwan. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Madhvaya Namaha. Now rinse your hands. Om Rishikeshaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha. If you have a koos ring, put it onto the right hand ring finger of your hand. Om Pavitresto Vaishnavyo Saviturvaha Prasavavat Punamya Chidrena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmibihi Tasyate Pavitra Pate Pavitra Putasya Yatakamaha Punetachikeyam. Apply chandan to your forehead using the thumb of your right hand. Start at the top of your nose and move upwards. Om Chandanam Vandate Nityam Pavitram Papanashanam Apadam Harate Nityam Lakshmir Vasatu Sarvadham. Light your Lakshmi Deep, your house lamp, if you have not done so. If you have lit it already, you may offer a flower in front of the lamp. Om Bodhipatam Brahma Rupa Andhakara Nivaraka Imam Maya Kritam Pujam Grihastejo Pravardhaya. Om Deepaya Namaha. Now do Asan Puja, sprinkle water on the seat. Om Prithvi Tvaya Dritaloka Devi Tvam Vishnuna Drita Tvancha Dharyaman Devi Pavitrang Kuru Chasanam. We are now going to do Swasti Vachan. We are going to recite mantras from the Ved. Take flowers, put your hands together and meditate on Bhagwan. Om Swastina Indro Vridashavaha Swastinaha Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starak Shorarishtanemhi Swastino Vrihaspatir Dadatu Om Payah Pritiphyam Paya Oshadishu Payo Divyantarikshe Payodaha Payasvatihi Pradishaha Santu Mahyam Om Vishnor-aratamasi Vishnoho Snaptresto Vishnoho Surasi Vishnor Dhruvasi Vaishnavamasi Vishnavetva Om Agnir Devata Bhato Devata Suryo Devata Chandrama Devata Vasubho Devata Rudra Devata Aditya Devata Marato Devata Vishwe Deva Devata Vrihaspatir Devatendro Devata Varuno Devata Om Dyaho Shantir Antarikshagung Shantihi Prithivi Shantirapah Shantir Oshadayah Shantihi Vanaspatayah Shantir Vishwe Devah Shantir Brahma Shantihi Sarvagung Shantihi Shantireva Shantihi Sama Shantiredhi Om Vishwani Dev Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadrantanna Asuva Sushantir Bhavatu. You may offer the flowers into the thari in front of you. Take flowers and white rice in the palms of your hand again. Put your hands together. We are going to recite Dhyan mantras. Dhyan mantras are mantras that help us to focus on a particular deity, a particular form of Bhagwan. And the Dhyan mantras that we are going to recite are in respect of Ganeshji and Parvati Mata, Kalash Varun Devata, Nograha and Shiv. So, if you have these murtis in your home, you may focus on them. Om Gananan Tva Ganapati Gunghavamahe Priyanan Tva Priyapati Gunghavamahe Nidhinan Tva Nidhipati Gunghavamahe Vasomama Ahamajani Garbhadama Tamajasi Garbhadam Om Bhurvaswaha Ganapataye Namaha Om Ambe Ambike Ambalike Namanyati Kaschana Sasasya Shvakaha Subhadrikam Kampila Vasinim Om Bhurvaswaha Ambikaye Namaha. Now, Kalash Varun Devata. Om Tatvayami Brahmana Vandamanas Tada Shaste Yajamano Havirbihi Ahiddamano Varuneha Bodhirushagam Samana Ayuhu Pramoshihi Om Bhur Bhavaswaha Bho Varun Iha Gacha Iha Tishtam Om. Now we are going to meditate on the Nograha. the heavenly bodies that are closest to us, including Bhagwan Surya. Om Kalashasya Mukhe Vishnu Kanthe Rudra Samashitah Mulya Tasya Sthito Brahma Madhye Matra Granaha Spatah Kukshoto Sagarah Sapta Sapta Dvipa Vasundara Rigvedotha Yajurvedah Samvedo Yatarvanah Angaisya Sahitah Sarve Kalashantu Samashitah. Bhagwan Shiv. Sorry, the mantra that I recited was also in respect of Kalash. I'm now going to recite the mantra in respect of Nograha. Om Brahma Murari Tripurantakari Bhanu Shashi Bhumishto Budasya Guruscha Shukrah Shani Rahu Ketava Sarve Grahaha Shantikara Bhavantu Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Samarchanam Maya Kritancha Yatadboha Kshamadom Grahadevataha Anena Pujinena Shri Surya Adi Nograha Mandala Devataha Priyantam. Boli Nograha Devatao ki jai, Boli Surya Narayan Bhagwan ki jai. Now we are going to meditate on Bhagwan Shiv. Om Bandhuka Sannibandevam Trinetram Chandrashekaram Trishooladharinan Devam Charuhasam Sunirmalam Kapaladharinan Devam Vardavaya Hastakam Umaya Sahitam Shambhu Dhyayet Someshwaram Sadam Sanandamananda Vaneva Santa Mana Om Sanandamananda Vaneva Santam Ananda Kandam Hatha Papa Vrindam Varanasi Natham Anathanatha Shri Vishwanatham Sharanam Prapadye. Bolye Shiva Sankara Bhagwan ki jai. We are now going to do the Saraswati puja in some detail. So if you have a murti of Mata Saraswati, you should be doing the puja to that murti. You can take flowers in your hands, put your hands together. Om Ya Kundendu Tushara Har Dhavala Ya Subhra Vastravrata Ya Veena Varadanda Mandita Kara Ya Shweta Padmasana Ya Brahma Chuta Shankara Prabhitivir Deve Sada Vandita Samam Patu Saraswati Bhagavati Nishesha Jhadya Paha Ashashu Rashi Bhava Dangaha Vallihi Bhasevah Dasi Krita Dhugdi Sindhum Mandasmitir Nindita Sharadendhum Vande Ravindasanah Sundari Tvam Sharada Bhojavadanam Vadanam Bhujehe Sarvada Smakam Sannidhim Kriyat Om Veena Dharehe Vipulla Mangaladana Shile Bhaktarti Nashanihi Viranshi Harishwandyaha Kirti Pradhi Akilaha Mano Rathade Mahaharyehe Vidya Pradayini Saraswati Nomi Nityam Om Saraswati Mahabhage Vidye Kamalalochane Vidyarupe Vishalakshi Vidyandehi Namostute Om Sarvalokasya Janani Veena Pustakdharani Sarvadeva Mahimishaha Divyam Mavamyaham. Om. Offer the flowers and now offer flowers again. Om Kundendihi Varnaha Varnabham Muktamani Virajitam Amalam Kamalam Divyan Asanam Prathi Grihatam. Now offer water 3 times. Om Gangadi Tirtha Sambhutam Gandha Pushpadi Bhiryutam Padyam Dadamyaham Devi Grihanashu Namostute Om Ashtagandham Samayuktam Gandha Pushpadi Bhiryutam Argyam Grihana Maddatam Sharadaye Namostute Om Sarvalokasya Ya Shaktir Brahma Vishnu Dibhistute Dadami Achmanyam Tasye Saraswatye Manoharam. Om Mandakinyaha Samaniteher Hemam Bhoruhu Havasiteha Snanam Kurushva Deveshi Salalesyaha Sugandhibihi. Panchamrit. Om Panchamritam Samayuktam Jahanavi Salilam Shubham Grihan Vishwa Janani Snanartam Bhaktavatsale. Water again. Om Ganga Saraswati Reva Payoshni Narmada Jaleha Snapitosi Maya Devi Tatha Shanti Kurushvame. 2 pieces of cotton. Om Divyam Baraham Nutanamhi Shomam Twatihi Manoharam Diyamanam Maya Devi Grihana Jagadambike. Om Kanchuhu Kimupavastram Cha Nana Ratne Samanvitam Grihanatvam Maya Dattam Mangale Jagadishwari. Om. Now, Nevedya, a little bit of sour milk mixture if you have. If you don't have that, you can use Panchamrit. Om Kapilam Dadi Kundendu Dhavalam Madhu Sanyutam Swarnapatra Stitam Chapi Madhu Parkam Grihaname. You have adornments on your murti, bangles, tikli, etc. You can offer that. Alternatively, offer flowers again. Om Ratna Kankana Vedhurya Mukta Haradika Nicham Suprasannena Manasa Dadati Swikurushvavoho. Chandan Tika, using your ring finger, apply a tika to Mataji. Om Shri Kanda Garuhu Karpura Mriganavihi Samanvitam Vilepanam Mahadevi Tubhyam Tubhya Dasyami Bhaktitaham. Now offer the various colors. If you have them mixed, you can offer that. Alternatively, you can offer them individually. Okay. Om Shweta Chandanam Sammishraham Parijatah Samudbhavam Maya Dattam Grihanashu Chandanam Gandha Sanyutam Om Sindhuram Raktavarnam Chah Sindhura Tilaka Priye Bhaktya Dattam Maya Devihi Sindhuram Pratigrihatam Om Kumkumam Kamadam Devyam Kumkumam Kamarupinam Akhanda Kama Sobhagyam Kumkumam Pratigrihatam Om Abhirancha Gugulancha Chovaha Chandanamevacha Abhirena Chita Devi Hyatah Shanti Prayachame. Offer white rice. Om Akshata Nirmalan Shuddhan Mukha Mani Samanvitan Grihanashu Mahadevi Dehi Me Nirmalandiyam. Flowers. Om Mandara Parijatadyaha Patalo Ketaki Tatham Maruvamo Garam Cheva Grihanashu Namo Namaham. A stand of grass if you have. Om Vishnavadi Sarvadevanam Priyam Sarva Sushobhanam Shirasagara Sambhutam Durva Swiguru Sarvadham. Some perfume and a drop of ghee if you have. Om Sneham Grihana Snehena Lokeshwari Dayanide Sarvalokasya Janani Dadami Sneham Uttamam. Agarbatti and Arti. And of course, if you have a bell, you ring the bell. If you have a shank, you blow the shank. Om Vanaspati Rasodbhuto Gandhadyo Gandhavuttamaha Agre Sarvadevanam Dhupoyam Pratigrihatam Om Karpurvat Varti Sanyuktam Ghrita Yuktam Manoharam Tamonasha Karam Deepam Grihan Parameshwari. Wash your hands and offer some prasad, Nevedya or fruit. Om Nevedyam Grihatam Devi Bhakshya Bhoja Samanvitam Shadhara Seranvitam Divyam Saraswatyai Namostute. Om Phalena Phalitam Sarva Trilokyam Sacharacharam Tasmat Phala Pradhanena Purnah Santu Manorataham. Sprinkle water. Om Shitalam Nirmalam Toyam Karpurena Suvasitam Achmayatam Midam Devi Prasida Tvam Sureshwari. A pan supari set. Pan supari, a pinch of camphor, a clove, and a coin. Om Elalavanga Karpura Nagapatra Dibhiryutam Pungi Palena Sanyuktam Tam Bhulam Pratigrihatam Om Hiranya Garbha Garbhastam Hema Bija Vibhavasoho Ananta Punya Paladaha Mataha Shantim Prayachame. Aarti again. Om Chakshurdam Sarvalokanam Timirasya Nivaranam Artikyam Kalpitam Bhaktya Grihan Parameshwari. Om Yanikani Cha Papani Brahmahatya Samani Cha Tani Tani Vinashyanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. बोलिए जगत जननी दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली माता की जय. We are now going to have 2 bhajans.
सूंड सुंडाला ढूंढ ढूंढाला मस्तक मोटा कान गणपति देव भरा बलवान गणपति देव भरा बलवान सूंड सुंडाला ढूंढ ढूंढाला मस्तक मोटा कान गणपति देव भरा बलवान देव बड़ा बलवान जो गणपति को प्रथम मनाता उसका सारा दुख मिट जाता रिद्धि सिद्धि सुख संपत्ति पाता भव सागर के पार उतरता मेरी नैया पार करो मैं देर लगाओ ध्यान गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान सूंड सुंडाला ढूंढ ढूंढाला मस्तक मोटा कान गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान पार्वती के पुत्र है प्यारे सारे जग के तुम रखवारे भोलेनाथ है पिता तुम्हारे सूर्य चंद्रमा मस्तक धारे मेरे सारा दुख मिट जावे देवो यही वरदान गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान सूंड सुंडाला ढूंढ ढूंढाला मस्तक मोटा कान गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान मोटा दान, गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान, गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान, गणपति देव बड़ा बलवान। ओम सीताराम सुत हनुमान, राधे कृष्ण की जय। जय नारायण जय जय दुर्गे, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय
नारायण जय जय दुर्गे, जय अम्बे नमो नमः, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
तेरा पावन सुमिरन करता, अंतर में सुख भर आता।
तेरा पावन सुमिरन करता, अंतर में सुख भर आता।
रोम रोम में प्रेम तिहारा, वंदे भक्त बिगड़ जाता। जय कल्याणी जय जय दुर्गे, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
मन अंतर में मंत्र बनो तुम, जीवन यादव जानो मां। मन अंतर में
मंत्र बनो तुम, जीवन याद बुझा दो मां।
जन्म जन्म के संतापों को तेज से अपर जला दो मां। जय रुद्राणी जय जय दुर्गे, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। मंगलता की देने वाली, मनवांछित फल बरसाए। मंगलता
की देने वाली, मनवांछित फल बरसाए।
धार तिहारे आ गए मैया, गोर ढाल रही जानी। जय ब्रह्मानी जय जय दुर्गे, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। राम भजन हम निस दिन करते, मन में जपते नाम विमल। राम भजन हम निस दिन करते,
मन में जपते नाम विमल।
शरण पढ़ा तो एक सहारा, मैया तेरे शरण कमल। जय कृष्णानी जय जय दुर्गे, जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः, जय अम्बे नमो
Jai Mataji, Jai Maha Saraswati to all of you. We are now going to recite a chapter of Durga Saptashati, and I'm going to recite chapter 6 for those of you that are following. Om Nagadhishvara Vishtaram Fani Fanoktam Soruratnavale भास्वदेहलतां दिवाकरनिभां नेत्रत्रयो भासितां मालाकुम्भकपालनिजकरां चन्द्रार्चूडां परां सर्वगेश्वरभैरवाङ्गनिलयां पद्मावतीं चिन्तये ॐ ऋषिरुवाच इत्याकर्णवचो देव्या स दूतमर्षपूरितः समाचष्ट समागम्य दैत्यराजाय विस्तरात् तस्य दूतस्य तद्वाक्यम् अकर्णारुसुरराटतः सक्रोधः प्राह दैत्यानाम् अधिपं धूम्रलोचनं हे धूम्रलोचनाशु त्वं स्वसैन्यपरिवारितः तामानय बलादुष्टां केशाकर्षण बिहबलां तत्परित्राणदः कश्चित् यदि वोत्तिष्ठते परः स हन्तव्यो मरो वापि यक्षो गन्धर्व एव वा ऋषिरुवाच तेनाज्ञप्यस्ततः शीघ्रं स दैत्यो धूम्रलोचनः वृतषष्ट्या सहस्राणाम् असुराणां धृतं ययो स दृष्ट्वा तां ततो देवीं तुहिनाचलसंस्थितां जगादोच्चै प्रयाहीति मूलं शुम्भ निशुम्भयोः न चेत्प्रीत्याद्य भवति मद्भर्तारम् उपैष्यति ततो बलान्नयां येष केशाकर्षण बिहबलां देव्य उवाच दैत्येश्वरेण प्रहितो बलवान् बलसंवृतः बलान्यसि मामेवं ततः किं ते करोम्यहम् ऋषिरुवाच इत्युक्तः सोऽभ्यदा वक्ताम् असुरो धूम्रलोचनः ओङ्कारेणैव तं भस्म स चकाराम्बिकां ततः अथ क्रुद्धं महासैन्यम् असुराणां तथाम्बिकां विवर्ष सायकैस्तीक्ष्णैस्तथा शक्ति परश्वधे दतो धुत्सटः कोपात् कृत्वा नादं तु भैरवं पपातासुरसेनायां सिंहो देव्य स्ववाहनः कांश्चित्करप्रहारेण दैत्यानास्येन चापरान् आक्रम्य चाधरेणान्यान् स जगाना महासुरान् येषाञ्चित् पाठयामास नखे कोष्ठानि केसरी तथा तलप्रहारेण शिरांसि कृतवान् पृथक् विच्छिन्न बाहु शिरसः कृतास्तेन तथा परे पपोच रुधिरं कोष्ठाद् अन्येषां धुतकेसरः क्षणेन तद्बलं सर्वं क्षयं नीता महात्मना तेन केसरिना देव्या वाहनेनातिकोपना श्रुत्वा तमसुरं देव्या निहन्तुं धूम्रलोचनं बलं च क्षयितं कृत्स्नं देवी केसरणी ततः चुकोपदैत्याधिपतिः शुम्भ प्रस्फुरितारधा आज्ञाप्यमास च तौ चण्डमुण्डो महासुरो हे चण्ड हे मुण्डबलैर्बहुभिः परावृत परिवारितो तत्र गच्छत् गच्छ्वास सासमानीयतां लघु केशेष्वा कृष्वबद्ध्वा वा यदि वह संशयो युधि तथा शेषायुधे सर्वैरसुरैर्विहन्यतां तस्यां हतायां दुष्टायां सिंहे च विनिपातिते शीघ्रम् आगम्यतां बद्ध्वा गृहीत्वा तां तथाम्बिकाम् ओम जय जय मार्कंडे पुराणे सावर्णिके मनंतुरे देवी महात्म्य सत्या संतु यजमानश्चकाम जगदम्बा अर्पणम अस्तु। बोलिए जग जगनी दुर्गा काली लक्ष्मी सरस्वती माता की जय। अच्छा, we will have another 2 bhajans now.
तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता हो माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता हो माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता। चारों दिशा से भक्ति आशा से भक्तों के भीड़ आए हो माता, तेरे चरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता हो माता, तेरे चरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता। तू जो कहे माँ वो सब सुनेंगे, दिन रात तेरी पूजा करेंगे, सुख हो या दुख हो हम सब सहेंगे, हर हाल तेरी भक्ति करेंगे। भक्तों के पीरा हरने वाली माँ कोटि कोटि है प्रणाम हो माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता हो माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता। चारों दिशा से भक्ति आशा से भक्तों के भीड़ आए हो माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता हो माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता। तीनों लोगों की तू धानी है माँ, अंतर्यामी है तू ज्ञानी है माँ, सुख दुख दुख कारण करो माँ, सब रन के अर्चन ग्रहण करो माँ, दुनिया के रक्षा करने वाली माँ, रोशन रह तेरा नाम ओ माता, तेरे चरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता हो माता, तेरे चरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता। चारों दिशा से भक्ति आशा से भक्तों के भीड़ आए हो माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता हो माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता, तेरे शरण आए देखो है अम्बे माता। ओम सीताराम पवन सुत हनुमान कृष्ण की जय। जननी वाणी सरस्वती बुद्धि देहा दूरिग अंगरी गिरा जगदम्ब गरहु मोप दृष्टि करो प्रताप जग राग नमो नमः जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम राम नाम के जपने से ही राम नाम के जपने से ही बन जाते सब बिगड़े काम जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम मधु कह कब को दे तो को मच्छर रूप से मारा वेदों का उद्धार किया मग्न हुआ जग सारा सागर मन तन में प्रभु ने कच्छप रूप बनाया अपने पीठ पर मंदराचल पर्वत का भार उठाया पृथ्वी की रक्षा के लिए भारा रूप में धाई हिरण्याक्ष को मार्ग धरती जल के ऊपर ला जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम भक्त प्रहलाद रक्षा की प्रभु ने नरसिंह अवतार लिया अभिमानी अत्याचारी हिरण्यकश्यप को मार दिया भूमतेन भगवान के बल से वामन रूप विराट किया बलि के सिर पर पग धर के प्रभु ने उसका उद्धार किया परशुराम अवतार प्रभु का परशुराम अवतार प्रभु का जगत प्रसिद्ध था जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम राम नाम के जपने से ही राम नाम के जपने से ही बन जाते सब बिगड़े काम जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम त्रेता युग में प्रभु ने ही श्री राम रूप में जन्म लिया जड़ग सभा में शिव के धनुष को दौड़ सिया से ब्याह किया जब द्वापर युग आएगा अवतार कृष्ण का लेंगे प्रभु संहार कंस का करके तभी जग का संताप करेंगे प्रभु जब गर हिंसा फैलेगी प्रभु पुत्र रूप में आएंगे मानव गोत्र हिंसा का प्रभु पावन पाठ पढ़ाएंगे भोग कल्कि अवतार प्रभु का जब घोर कलयुग आई धरती पर अधर्म की छाया कहीं न रहने पाए जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम जय जय राम जय श्री राम दो अक्षर का प्यारा नाम राम नाम के जपने से ही राम नाम के जपने से ही बन जाते सब बिगड़े काम जय जय राम जय श्री
Jai Mata Ji to all of you. We're now going to have a discourse, and the discussion this evening is going to be on three aspects of Durga Saptashati. I'm going to talk about the slaying of Dhumra Lochan. I'm going to talk about the slaying of Chand and Munda, as well as the slaying of Rakta Bija. So this is chapter 6, chapter 7, and chapter 8 of the Durga Saptashati. So in chapter 6, we have a description of how Dhumra Lochan was killed. Chapter 7 gives a description of how Chand and Mund were killed. And chapter 8 gives a description of how Rakta Bij was killed. So the messenger of two demons called Shumbha and Nishumbha, they had seen Chandika Mata very beautifully dressed, sitting on the mountain. And they went to, and they had actually proposed to her to get married. So this messenger proposed to Chandika Mata on behalf of Shumbha and Nishumbha to marry Shumbha and Nishumbha. And she said to them that I would have come with you, but I have made an oath. I've taken a pran that I will marry the person who defeats me in war. So these messengers go back to Shumbha and Nishumbha, and they relate this detail to the king of the Daityas, to Shumbha and Nishumbha. And clearly, Shumbha and Nishumbha were not impressed with the message that came to them. And so they summon another messenger of theirs who is called Dhumra Lochan. And they instruct Dhumra Lochan to take his army and to go and bring Chandika Mata, and not just bring her, but they must drag her by her hair. And they tell, Shumbha and Nishum tell Dhumra Lochan that if anyone stands in your way, if anyone tries to prevent you from bringing Chandika Mata, then you must slay that person too. You must kill that person, even if that person is a yaksha or a gandharva, or even if it is God who comes in between. So, who is a yaksha? Yaksha are actually celestial beings, heavenly bodies. They are actually warriors. They are generally connected with water, with fertility, with trees and the forest, etc. One of the yakshas, one that we all know of, is Kubera. You've all heard of Kubera. Kubera is one of the yakshas, and in fact, he's regarded as one of the Digpal. Digpal are the protectors in the different directions. So from the northern direction, we are protected by Digpal. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of what Digpal is, but I'm going to refer you to a publication that has been released by the Sri Sanatan Dharam Sabha of South Africa. It's available on Facebook. Some of you would have received it in your WhatsApp groups as well. There's an explanation there of Dash Dikpal, the 10 protectors from the different directions. Kubera is a yaksha. The yakshas generally are found in the company of the gods. So when Shumbha and Nishumbha said that even if a yaksha comes, you must kill that yaksha, because they know that the yakshas generally stay around the devtas. Gandharvas are also celestial beings. They are the male celestial beings who are the divine dancers and the singers in heaven. They also are found in the company of the Devis and the Devas. And you'll find that the Gandharvas are mentioned quite extensively in the Mahabharata. And they are being, in the Mahabharata, they tell you how they are associated with the Devas as dancers and singers, and how the Yakshas are formidable warriors, right? So that is why Shumba and Nishum mention these two, because they know that these people always are in the company. So if they come along, then you should slay them as well. But at all cost, bring Chandika Mata back. That's the instruction that they give to Dhumralochan. So Dhumralochan, having been instructed by Shumbha, goes forward, accompanied obviously by his asuras, by his army, and they see that Devi, Chandika Devi, is seated on a snowy mountain. And they say to her that we've come to take you to Shumbha and Nishumbha. And what does the mother do? It says, Hunkaraneva tam bhasma sa chakar ambika tataha. Hunkaraneva. She made a sound, hung. Hung sound she made, and she turned Dhumralochan into ashes. So she didn't use any weapons, no sword, no trident, no trishul, nothing. Just with the power of her sound, Hunkaraneva, she turned Dhumralochan into ashes. This news went to Shumbha. Clearly, he was very, very infuriated. His lips began to quiver. And then he commands another two asuras from his army, Chanda and Munda. He says to them, go there with your large forces and bring her here speedily. Again, they say, dragging her by her head and binding her. And he says, they say to Chanda and Munda, if you have any doubt about doing that, then let all the asuras that are going to go with you, all the other army people go with you, fight with her with all the weapons, right? And when you have captured her and you have struck down her lion, then you must bind that mother and you must bring her back to us. So this is where then chapter 6 ends. And we now move into chapter 7. So in chapter 7, we read that upon receiving this command of Shumba and Nishumbha, Chand and Munda, together with all the other asuras, they march forward to go and confront Chandika Devi. And what they find that the Devi is smiling gently, and she's seated upon a lion on a huge golden peak of the great mountains. So on seeing her, some of the asuras who are part of the army, they get excited and they try to capture her. Others try to approach her with their bows and their swords, etc. But this Ambika Mata, she becomes angry. And what happens is her face then turns dark as ink in anger. In fact, from her, from this Chandika Devi, they emerges a new form of Devi. And this new form of Devi that comes out is very, very dark in color, dark as ink. And you'll find that from the surface of her forehead, there's a fierce frown. She has terrible features. She's armed with a sword and a noose. She has a skull-topped staff, a stick that has a skull's top on it. She's decorated with a garland of skulls. She's clad in tiger's skin. And she's very appalling because she has what we call emaciated flesh. She hardly has any flesh on her body. She has a gaping mouth, and her tongue is actually lolling out of her mouth. So what comes out of Chandika Devi is actually Mata Kali. So Kali comes out of the mouth of Chandika Devi, and she's obviously very, very frightening to look at. And what she does is she devours all the hosts of asuras that are there. And then you'll find that the Chanda was attacked by this Devi, this new form of Devi, this Kali Devi, which came out of Chandika Mata. She attacks Chanda and she kills Chanda, and then she also kills Munda. So she kills both of them. And when this happens, the rest of the army, they fled from there. They ran away because they became scared when they saw what Kali had done. So Kali then takes the head of Chanda and Munda, and she goes to Chandika Devi. And she says, I have brought you the heads of Chanda and Munda. Now you take care of Shumbha and Nishumba. So Chandika Mata says to Kali that because you have brought to me both Chanda and Munda, says from this time onwards, Devi, from this point onwards, you shall be famed in the world by the name of Chamunda. So Kali is also given the name Chamunda because she had killed both Chanda and Munda. And this is where then chapter 7 ends. And we move into chapter 8. So now, when they realize that Dhumra Lochan has been killed, now Chanda and Mund have also been killed, another great Asura by the name of Rakta Bij came forward to fight against the mothers. Remember, there's Chandika and Kali there now. And so what happens then is you'll find that several of the different forms of the mother are manifested on the battlefield. So for example, Lord Indra's Shakti, called Indrani, comes forward with Indra's club in her hand. And she fights with Rakta Bij. And what happens is when she fights with Rakta Bij, his blood flows quickly and profusely because he was struck by this thunderbolt. But what happens is from that blood that Rakta Bij has spilled, fresh, new Rakta Bijas, new Asuras of the form of Rakta Bij and of the great strength of Rakta Bij comes up. So as many drops of his blood fall from his body, so many persons come into being with the same courage, with the same strength, and with the same bravery of Rakta Bija. And those persons that sprung from his blood, they also fight with the mother, with the mothers rather. So you also have Vishnu's Shakti called Vaishnavi, who uses the discus, the chakra, in battle. Another form of mother called Aindri, she also fights with her club. There's a Devi called Kaumari, who is the energy of Kumara. Kumar is Kartikeya, Murugan. So Kartikeya, his Shakti called Kaumari, she also comes with her spear and she attacks Rakta Bija. Maheshwari, comes with the trident. Maheshwari is the energy of Mahesha, of Lord Shiva. But that great Rakta Bija, the great Asura, who was filled with wrath, he was being struck by these people. But each time he was injured and his blood flowed onto the ground, you'll find that he multiplied himself into another Rakta Bij. Eventually, Chandika Devi now, seeing that all these matris, all these mothers, Indrani, Aindri, Vaishnavi, Kaumari, Maheshwari, they are becoming dejected because they are unable to curb, they are unable to control this Rakta Bij. Each time they're striking him, he releases blood, and that blood gives rise to another Rakta Bij. So it's becoming unbearable for them. So Chandika Devi speaks to Kali. Remember Kali we spoke about in chapter 7? So she speaks to Kali. She says, Chamunda, because that's a new name she has now. Oh Chamunda, I want you to open your mouth wide. And with this mouth, you must quickly take in the drops of blood that is generated by the blow of my weapon. And also the great Asuras that are born of the drops of blood of Rakta Bij. So she's instructing Chamunda that when I strike him, don't allow the blood to go onto the ground. You must instead grab it with your mouth. This is the instruction that she gives to Kali. She says to Kali, roam about in the battlefield. You must devour the great Asuras that spring from him. And in this way, this Daitya with his blood emptied will perish. That's the whole strategy that they want to use. And as you go devouring these, the other fierce Asuras will not be born. So they find a way, a solution of how to control Rakta Bij. So Chandika Devi strikes Rakta Bij with her dart. And what does Kali Mata do? She drinks Rakta Bij's blood with her mouth. And this continues, and from his stricken body, wherever blood is flowing copiously, there Chamunda swallowed it up with her mouth. And in this way, Chamunda devoured those great Asuras who sprang up from the flow of blood in her mouth and drank his Rakta Bij's blood. So the Devi then struck Rakta Bij with a dart, with a thunderbolt, with arrows, swords, spears, and Chamunda went on drinking his blood. And in this way, they were able to get rid of Rakta Bij because they didn't allow him to multiply. And this is where now chapter 8 ends. So now that you know the story, you know what happened on the battlefield. Let's stop and reflect. Let's reflect on these 3 stories that we have heard here tonight. What lessons can we learn from these stories? What is it that we can appropriate from it? How can we use this to improve our own lives? Let's look at Dhumra Lochan. The word Dhumra Lochan means one who is not clear, one who is full of confusion. Actually, Dhumra Lochan is regarded as the lord of wrong logic. It literally means gray-eyed. That's what the word Dhumra Lochan means. Now, let's think a little bit. I'm sure that you now, if I ask you to think of all the people that you've come across in your life experiences, I'm sure there must have been at least one Dhumra Lochan that you know of or you came across within your life. There must be one person that you know of who is never ever clear in his or her mind about what is going on, who is full of confusion, who is actually the master of wrong logic. We have these kind of people roaming about us in the same way that they roamed about on this battlefield in this Durga Saptashati that we read about. They are Dhumra Lochans moving around us all the time. People will tell you that they are confused about things. You'll find that they use the wrong logic to explain things. What we need to do is we need to remove this Dhumralochan logic from our lives. We have to learn to use our rational faculties to understand what life is all about. We cannot move around our lives in the same mode as Dhumralochan, all confused. And we are confused about many things in life. And the reason for our confusion quite often is ignorance. It's because we don't know the correct thing. When we don't know the correct thing, then we are confused. A child tells me, I'm confused, I don't know how to solve this geometry problem. Very often, the child does not know how to solve the geometry problem because the child does not know, has the necessary knowledge about the theorems and all those things, and therefore he says he's confused. Confusion is almost always arising out of lack of knowledge. And confusion also rises when we refuse to use our own thinking power to understand things. So I'm going to use an example now. And I'm going to share my screen with you. The only reason I'm using this example and I'm going to share my screen is I want to make my point about confusion and why confusion rises. Confusion arises because we refuse to use the brain, the mind that Bhagwan has given us to make sense of things, right? And I'm using this example because I'm not because I want to offend anybody. I don't want to disturb anybody's faith, right? At the end of the day, you should be free to follow some of these things, but I'm using this example, and hopefully if I can convert some of you, I'll be very happy. So let me share my screen, right? So if you look at the screen, and I'm talking about the issues of colors during Navarathri, this is what I have picked up from the various readings that I'm doing. Apparently on Thursday, the 7th of October, it was yellow color. Friday was green, Saturday was gray, Sunday was orange, Monday was white, Tuesday was red, Wednesday was royal blue, Thursday is pink, and Friday is purple. So apparently these are the colors that we are supposed to wear during the different days of Navarathri, right? This is what we saw on Facebook, for example, and people have been sharing with us. Then I said, let me apply my own logic here now. Let me apply use my own brains to understand where this is coming from. Then I saw this on the internet. Now I'm showing you another picture. And on the internet, I found that they say that on the Pratipada day, on the first day, it is gray. On Dvitiya, it is orange. On Tritiya, it is white. On Chaturthi, it is red. On Panchami, it is blue. On Shashti, it's yellow. On Saptami, it's green. On Ashtami, it's peacock green. And on Navami, it's purple. Now, what's the problem? This is where I started thinking. I'm asking myself that if according to the internet, Navami is purple, then why are people sending around that on Dashmi you must wear purple? Can you see what I'm trying to get at here? There's one set of people telling us on internet that on Dashmi you must only use anything traditional. It doesn't give a color. But here in South Africa, somebody is saying to us that on Dashmi you must wear purple. That's because people haven't applied simple logic to this color issue. You see what happened in South Africa on Friday, and I'm highlighting it on your screen. On Friday, the 8th of October, we actually had 2 tithis on that day. We had Dvitiya Tithi and Tritiya Tithi. And the person or persons who decided to attach colors to the days didn't realize this, that you should have had actually 2 colors on this day here. And if they put 2 colors here, if they put a second color with green, they would have ended up on Nomi with purple and nothing on Dashmi. The point I'm making, dear sisters and brothers, let's not be like Dhumra Lochan and not be clear about what we're doing. Let's not obsess over this issue of colors, right? Because I'm sure color is not the most important thing when it comes to Navarathri. There are more important things like reading Chalisas, singing bhajans, understanding the Chalisas, singing Durga Saptashati, understanding Durga Saptashati. So let's not be the Lord of wrong logic. We are following something, but we don't know what we are following. So I'm not saying, look, who wants to wear what color on which day is not my business. And you can tell me on my face, it's not my business, and that you are right. It's not my business. But if you have to do something, let's do it correctly. All right? Let's do it with logic. Let's not do it with Dhumra Lochan's logic. Right? Because if we develop a Dhumra Lochan logic, then Chandika will be forced to send somebody to annihilate us, to kill us. Then another thing that I want to dwell on and look about a little bit, I spoke about from Chandika, the form of Kali came out. And that form of Kali, they said that she's decorated with skulls, with heads. Now, what do we understand by this here? What we understand from this is that one way of understanding it is, you see, in the Sanskrit language, there are about 52 letters of the alphabet. And somebody says to us that these skulls represent each of those letters of the alphabet. In other words, it represents what is called Shabda, Shabda Brahman. It represents sound. Kali is the sacred syllable sound, so Om. So that's one reminder for us of why she wears that. The other understanding, the other meaning is that she wears these garlands, these skulls or these heads, because these are the heads. They symbolize the heads of all the foes, the enemies, and the demons that she has slayed. And I want to tell you that Kali killed Dhumra Lochan. She killed Shumbha, and she killed Chandan Mund. She killed Rakta Bija. I'm not seeing anywhere in Durga Saptashati that she killed an animal and drank its blood. I'll leave it there. I won't say anything more. Now let's look at Rakta Bij. What lesson do we learn from this whole Rakta Bij incident? Right? We know that he had a boon. The boon was that whenever a drop of his blood falls on the ground, a clone of Rakta Bij would be born at that spot. That's the boon that he had. Now the literal meaning of Rakta, Rakta means blood and Bija means seed. So with this boon, he was nearly indestructible. And we saw that in the description that was given to us in chapter 8. So each time he was attacked or he was killed, many more Rakta Bij were born, many more Rakta Bij spread. In fact, he had defeated all the kings and the gods, because I told you Indrani, Vaishnavi, Maheshwari all came. They were unable to destroy him. And he was torturing the entire world. Now, does this not sound familiar to all of us? If you look at the current environment in the world today, the demon name today, this time, is Corona. It is nearly indestructible, and it is spreading with every attempt to destroy. With every attempt that we are trying to destroy it, it's still spreading. The whole world is suffering. And most of the world's superpowers, the developed countries, are on their knees. So the metaphor between Corona and Rakta Bij is also visible in the way it was and can be defeated. So like Rakta Bij was defeated, we can also defeat the Corona. So to defeat Rakta Bij, all the kings, all the gods came together and called on one of the most aggressive, scariest, fearsome avatars of the goddess Shakti called Kali. Her skin was black. Her bright red eyes were set deep into her head, and her distinctive tongue lolled out from her mouth. Kali wore a garland of severed heads, as I told you, and a skirt of arms as well. She was also referred to as the goddess of death and doomsday, and she killed each of the Rakta Bija with her sword and drank the blood. She ensured that no drop of blood was spilled over to the floor and no new Rakta Bij was born. So the solution was a perfect example of, one, the whole world coming together as a team. Two, taking unprecedented steps to defeat a common enemy. Three, act with the precision and discipline to ensure that not even a single drop of blood falls on the floor. And the fourth thing is restless hard work to kill thousands of Rakta Bij. So we are learning from the defeat of Rakta Bij. We're learning all these things here. So to defeat Corona, all the countries need to come together and fight this long war with what? How? With social distancing, with personal hygiene, and the restless hard work of our medical staff and other ancillary teams. So we need to come together. This is how we are going to beat this Rakta Bij. We have a new Rakta Bij among us. And how we overcome that Rakta Bij is by coming together as a team. Now, what was the aftermath of the Rakta Bij killing? What happened after that? Because by the time the thousands of Rakta Bij were killed, this goddess Kali was so engrossed in the mode of destruction. There was a need to calm her down and to save the world from her destruction. So what happened? Lord Shiva, who is her husband, has to plead with her. And what do we find? We find that famous picture of Kali standing on top of Lord Shiva. It's as though Lord Shiva is falling at the legs of Mother Kali. He is bowing down at Kali. Now, if you think about Indian custom, this was a very unprecedented act of a husband to fall at the feet of his wife. But that was the call of the hour. He fell at the feet of Kali because there was a greater good by his action. There would have been benefit for the entire world. So we can say that the same situation, this same might be the situation when we will be out of this threat of Corona, right? See, with the economy down, with lives lost and all that, we need to help each other to get back to normalcy. We need to come out of our egos and status quo like Lord Shiva did. He fell at the feet of his wife. So we have to give up our egos. Those anti-vaccine people, give up your ego, because there's a greater good if you get vaccinated. Don't just think about this yourself. Don't be selfish. Durga Saptashati is saying, think about the world. So let us come out of our egos. Let us not judge and keep grudges against anyone, as it is a difficult battle. And people might react weirdly and get carried away like Goddess Kali. So these are some of the lessons that we are learning from these 3 chapters of Durga Saptashati. So I trust that you found this very useful and that you enjoyed the presentation. We're now going to go into the Chalisa, the Saraswati Chalisa, Aarti and Visarjan. Jai Mataji.
जनक जननी पद मधुरज निज मस्तक पर धारी, बंदौ मातु सरस्वती बुद्धि भल धारी। पूर्ण जगत में व्यापित महिमा अमित अनंत, सारे संसार के पाप को मात तू ही अब हंत। जय श्री सकल बुद्धि बल राशि, जय सर्वज्ञ अमर अविनाशी। जय 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 वीणा कर धारी, करती सदा सो हंस सवारी। रूप चतुर भुजधारी माता, सकल विश्व अंदर विज्ञाता। जग में पाप बुद्धि जब होती, तब ही धर्म की फीकी ज्योति। तब ही मातु का निज अवतारा, पाप हीन करती मई सारा। वाल्मीकि जीता हथियारा, तव प्रसाद सुधरे सब जाना। रामचरित्र जो रचे बनाई, आदि कवि पदवी को पाई। कालिदास जो भये विज्ञाता, तेरी कृपा दृष्टि से बाटा। तुलसी सूर आदि वेदाना, भये और जो ज्ञानी नाना। तीन और हो अवलंबा, केवल कृपा आपकी अम्बा। करो कृपा सोई मातु भवानी, दुखत दीन निज दास जानी। पुत्र करे अपराध बहुता, तेहि ना धरे चित सुंदर माता। लाखों लाज जननी अब मेरी, विनय करो भांति बहु तेरी। मधु के तब जो अति बलवाना, बहु युद्ध विष्णु से टाना। समर हजार पाँच में घोरा, गिर भी मुख नहीं मोरा। मातु सहाय की है कही काला, बुद्धि विपरीत भरी कलहाला। तेहि ते मृत्यु भई कल केई, पूरो मातु मनोरथ मेरी। चंद्रमुंड जो ते विज्ञाता, शन मौ संग्रह तेहि माता। रक्त बीज से संवरत पापी, सुर मुनि हृदय धरा सब तापी। काटे हो सिर जिम करनी कंबा, बार बार वीणा जगदम्बा। जगत से जो शुंभ निशुंभा, क्षण में मारता ही तू अम्बा। भारत मातु बुद्धि बिरु जाए, रामचंद्र वनवास पठाई। एहि विधि रावण वर दुखीना, सुर नर मुनि सबको सुख दीना। गोसावत तव यश गुण गान, निगम अनादि अनंत बखाना। विष्णु रुद्र अज सके न मारी, जिनकी हो तुम रक्षाकारी। रक्त दंडिका और सतकाशी, नाम अपार है गात्रव भाषी। दुर्गम काज करा सरस्वती माता मैया जय सरस्वती माता सद्गुण वैभवशालिनी सद्गुण वैभवशालिनी त्रिभुवन सुखदाता मैया जय सरस्वती माता चंद्रवदनी पद्मासनी ज्योति मंगलकारी मैया ज्योति मंगलकारी सोह शुभ हंस सवारी सोह शुभ हंस सवारी अतुल तेजधारी मैया जय सरस्वती माता भाई कारणी वीणा ध्याये कर माला मैया ध्याये कर माला शेष मुकुट मणि सोहे शेष मुकुट मणि सोहे गल मोतियन माला मैया जय सरस्वती माता देवी शरण जो आवे उनका उद्धार किया मैया उनका उद्धार किया बैठी मंत्रा दासी बैठी मंत्रा दासी रावण संहार किया मैया जय सरस्वती माता विद्या ज्ञान प्रदायिनी ज्ञान प्रकाश भरो मैया ज्ञान प्रकाश भरो मोह अज्ञान दिमीका मोह अज्ञान दिमीका जग से नाश करो मैया जय सरस्वती माता धूप दीप फल मेवा माँ स्वीकार करो मैया माँ स्वीकार करो ज्ञान चक्षु दे माता ज्ञान चक्षु दे माता जग निस्तार करो मैया जय सरस्वती माता माँ सरस्वती जी की आरती जो कोई जन गावे मैया जो कोई जन गावे हितकारी सुखकारी हितकारी सुखकारी जन भक्ति भावे मैया जय सरस्वती माता जय सरस्वती माता मैया जय सरस्वती माता सद्गुण वैभवशालिनी सद्गुण वैभवशालिनी त्रिभुवन विराजा ओम जय सरस्वती माता जय सरस्वती माता मैया जय सरस्वती माता सद्गुण वैभवशालिनी सद्गुण वैभवशालिनी त्रिभुवन सुखदाता ओम जय सरस्वती माता
ॐ कर्पूरगौरं करुणा अवतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि ॐ मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुत्वध्वजा मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्ष मङ्गलाये तनोहरि ॐ सर्वमङ्गलमङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्धसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बिके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तु ते नारायणी नमोऽस्तु ते नारायणी नमोऽस्तु ते. You may sprinkle water around your thali. Om yani kani cha papani janmantar kritani cha tani tani vinakshanti pradakshina pade pade. Om sarvesham swastir bhavatu सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय, तमस्यो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमिदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ अपराधः सहस्राणि गृह्णन्ते हर्मिषं मया, दास्योऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। आवाहनं न जानामि विसर्जनं, पूजां चैव न जानामि क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति, त्वमेव शरणं मम, तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष्व त्वं परमेश्वर। ओम बोलो गणेश भगवान की जय, ओम सीताराम की जय, ओम लक्ष्मण जी की जय, ओम पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, ओम राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय, ओम शिव शंकर पार्वती माता की जय, ओम दुर्गा काली सरस्वती लक्ष्मी माता की जय, ओम गंगा यमुना सरयू गोदावरी माता की जय, ओम सब पितृदेव की जय, ओम सनातन धर्म की जय, ओम लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की जय, ओम राधा माधव की जय। ओम नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव हर। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। जय